Welcome back to my channel. Greetings of the day. I hope everyone is fine and doing well. Thank you so much for watching my videos and subscribing to my channel. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel for exciting videos related to GIS and urban planning. So let's start about today's video, that is about GIS. So GIS stands for Geographic Information System. So Geographic Information System contains two distinct disciplines, that is Geography and Information System. So Geography is a scientific study of geospatial patterns and processes. That means locations, coordinates, latitude and longitude. So we study about locations, that is a geography. And so GIS defined as an information system that is used to input, store, retrieve, manipulate and analysis and output geographical reference data. That means we are using locations and the various data to get an output geographically referenced data, that is spatial data. So for using GIS, we can get in order to support decision making for planning and management of land use, natural resources, environment, transportation, urban facilities, and administrative records. So these are the few examples which we can support our decision making by using GIS. So before starting into detail, we should study about the history of GIS. So this person is Johann Snow. So in 19th century there was a spread, cholera spread, and it was believed that it is due to the bad air and the bad smell. But Johann Snow was evidence that cholera was spread through the contaminated water, not because of the bad smell. So in 19th century he specially correlated the contaminated drinking water pipes and the number affected deaths. So he correlated these two data to get a map where this contaminated water pipes are and the number of affected people, so that he can back up on his study related to the cholera spread. So now we will study about his map, which we can see here on the right side. This is the map in which it's shown the roads and the dots. Okay, so Johann Snow well-known cholera map is often cited as one of the earliest example using geographic inquiry. That means he studied about the location of those water pipes which was contaminated and due to cholera was spreaded. So this is also, we can say it's a dots showing, so we can give another name to this, like to the dot map. So he has talked with the local residents also to get the source of the disease, that is to the water pump. Then he created a map that mapped out the location of the local water wells and the cholera affected people and the deaths. So he has studied all these to back his study about the contaminated pumps. So this example is like popularly mentioned in GIS textbooks and the highlights of the geographic analysis. That means in 19th century he has mapped out the cholera spread with the location of water pipes or water pumps with the cholera affected people. So later on his the same study, the people created a dot map in which you can see here there are the red dots in various sizes. That means in the small dot they're the people of less affected people, and in the bigger dot, that area depicts that the spread is large. So there are main two analysis that is often considered. That is, first one is epidemiological analysis of disease, that is trying to understand from where the cases are spreading, and the second one is geographical analysis. That means they are giving us the plotting the points on the map and looking for the relationship of both. that how the cases are spreading and why the cases are spreading. So this all study is done by Johan Snow. So next is Mr. Roger Tomlinson. So he is known as the father of GIS, and he is visionary geographer who conceived and developed GIS for the use of Canada land inventory in 1960s. So he proposed a solution using computerized spatial data, that is modern GIS. So he has coined this term geographic information system. So that's why he is known as father of GIS. So let's get into the details of the GIS, like what is GIS. So GIS is a software having various tools that allows us to play with the data related to their particular location. So for example, we have an area or we have a state and we have to see in which area how much is the population. So location, that area is our location and the population is our data, so combining the both and we will get the population data on the areas. So this data and this map we can get from the GIS. So GIS is not only about the mapping, it's more than that, because it gives us some sophisticated analysis like spatial analysis, network analysis, geocoding, georeferencing, and many more. And GIS is a database system that use both spatial and non-spatial data to answer the various questions which results to where the things are and how they are related. So there are the two different words, that is spatial data and non-spatial data. So spatial data, it's very clear from the word spatial, that means location. We can play with the location, and non-spatial is the attribute, that is numbers. So GIS is a database system which can give us the location and the data. So spatial and non-spatial data to answer about the various where the things are and how they are related. And it has many functions that includes the making map, analysis, analyzing relationships, creating data. So next is what GIS can do. Here is a map which I was talking about the data. So this is the street data, like the here you can see this one is the street data. Then we have the building data, vegetation data. So we can create different layers in the GIS, which I have shown in this picture, and while compiling all those we can get integrated layer on which we can see the built up also, vegetation also, and roads also. So we will learn this also, how we have to create this. Before this we will study about what GIS can do for us. So GIS works for various things. For example, land use planning. In picture you can see it's kind of a land use planning, where the houses, where the commercial area, residential area, so various uses of the land. So we can prepare map in the GIS. Environmental management, sociological analysis, business marketing, weather prediction, town planning, wastewater planning, regional planning, navigation tools, and many more. So these are the various you can say products which we can create from the GIS. So GIS, that is Geographic Information System, has major three parts, that is ArcMap, ArcScene, and ArcCatalog. These softwares are given us by the ISRI, that is Environmental System Research Institute. So this is an international supplier of GIS software, WebGIS, Geo Database Management Applications. So this company was founded in 1969 as a land use consulting firm. So we should thank to the ISRI for providing us such a wonderful software to work on. So let's study in the detail what is ArcMap. So ArcMap basically is the 2D feature of the map in which we use the geospatial processing programs and data which is used to primarily to view, edit, or create or analyze our geospatial data. So here is the map which is showing Tehsil Bathinda, Punjab, in which we can see there is the legends, north arrow, scale, legends, title, and this grid. And this is the map in which we can see there are the various roads, major highways or the railway lines, and then these are the some boundaries. And you can see here in the legend it's shown the where the town, villages, and everything. So this is a basic map which we can create from the ArcMap, and there are lots of maps which we can create from GIS. Next is about the ArcScene. So ArcScene is basically a 3D view of that same area, or 3D view which we generates to generates in perspective scenes like 3D. You can see the, so that allows you to navigate and interact with your 3D feature. For example, if you have created 2D map of somewhere, you can create 3D of that similar area. To it will be more interactive to you, and based on their open graphic library and ArcScene, so these two supports each other and created a 3D line symbology which creates a 3D display of an area. Okay, so here is the picture in which you can see this area is of the Giri watershed, and this is a Giri watershed in which you can see there is a stream order. So I have created this map using ArcMap and then ArcScene. So you will also get to learn how to do this in detail in my upcoming videos. So next is ArcCatalog. So basically this is an organizer and manage the geographic information in space and geodatabase. So my ArcCatalog organize my all the files which I am using in ArcMap and ArcScene, like the map documents, imagery, data files, layers, geodatabase, and so on. So everything is simplified way to organize my data, that is in ArcCatalog. So there is the one window of ArcCatalog in which there are the various icons like move up onto my any previous folder, or how to create any new folder. Okay, connect to my folder. So this is the basically the panel we will study in detail. Next is about the components of GIS. So components means what are the things which completes GIS information system. So those are the basically 6 components: hardware, software, data, skill, people, method, and network. Hardware, which we know hardware is like the laptop, computer, or mobile phone. Okay, so tablet. So these all comes under the hardware, like the hardware in which we can run a software. Software are like two types: open sources and commercial software. So open sources are like we have the QGIS, that is a quantum GIS. In like that is a kind of open and free software in which we can work, and ArcGIS is a commercial software. So next is the data. So here we have the like two types of data, as I have already explained you: spatial data and non-spatial data. So spatial data is on my right side, that means location. So in satellite imagery we can see the location of that area, aerial photos, cadastral maps, and survey using GPS. So using the GPS, this can give us the coordinates, latitude, longitude. So basically spatial data gives us the coordinates. Data we need is that spatial data which you can see on my right side, and another non-spatial data is on the left side, that is the digits or the numbers. For example, demographic data means population data, sex ratio data, and age group, and lots of households, demography, and everything. So basically the non-spatial data is we have the numbers, okay, groundwater quality, level, temperature, precipitation, quantity basically. So these two data we use in GIS to work upon. Next is the skilled people, that is so skilled people. So when we have the hardware, software, data, so we need the skills so that we can work on GIS. So these are the some of the professions which after learning the GIS we can play these roles. So GIS technicians, which like who can run the GIS very well, GIS analyst, like after doing all the study how we can analyze our data, GIS administrator, GIS developer. Next is GIS project manager. After this we need to know some of the methods and procedures, like we have everything and then we need some procedure to follow to get our results. So that is plan, operation rules. Obviously we need a one plan, particular plan to what results we want. Accordingly we have to follow the procedure. So GIS expert required, GIS software and hardware it's needed, what types of DMS, like database management system, what kind of data I needed. So these all things should be with us when we are going to start our GIS mapping or the GIS work. Next is the network. Network is like the we are working in some company or with some organization. For example, I have worked in one location, another person is worked on another location, but with the web GIS or with the help of the network, we can compile this data. So this also helps in compiling the data and analyzing. So next is about the functions of GIS. So it's like the capturing the data, storing the data, analyzing the data. Then we can create some models, manage the data, as I already told you, the R catalog, manage our data. Then display, we can displays our data with the legends, note, arrow, and titles and various symbologies. So we can display our data, which represents our study to someone or with the we can use this in our academic and the profession also to represent our studies or the maps or the research papers and so on. So next is like this one is I want to just show you broadly about the applications of GIS information system. I will explain this in detail in my next video. For just a brief, I'm going to give a brief here. So using the GIS information system, we can do these all various types of studies, that is like land management, network analysis, incident mapping. For example, I want to study about the accidents on the roads. So like incident mapping, we can study spatial measurement, transport modeling, facility management, contouring, topographic analysis, demographic analysis, site selection, how like which site would be best for my study. For example, I want to buy a house or I want to buy a property. So which kind of things I should take care and which location will be best for my property. And for example, I will take the few parameters. So we can do site selection also, watershed analysis, resource inventory. So these are the few things which I have listed here, which we can work on GIS. So next is like GIS data management and GIS in planning process. GIS data management, that is like we have the data, graphic data, we have locational data also. So and it depends on our requirement. What are my requirements? What I want my map to be depicted, and we have our spatial data also. So all these data, when we manipulate and analytical operations we perform in GIS, so this gives us the reports, graphics and the statistics. That means graphics means map. They will give us the map which will show the statistics of that and reports what they say. So all these things is we can do in GIS, and on right side it's in the GIS in planning process. So in the real world, we collect the various data of transportation, of population, and whatever you want to study. We collect the data and then we manage that data into our hardware. We sort our data. Then in our software, the GIS software, we analyze all the data, that what that data speaks, what the data says to me. Then we present that data into the presentable form, which if someone is looking at the data, they will not see the bigger tables or something. We will create into the very simpler form so that we can present it to the third person, and they can understand from this, and from this presentation the people, the committees can make their decisions, and that can be implemented to the real world. So whole this is the like cycling process. In the real world we find the problems, and from the problems we collect data, we manage that, we analyze that, then presenting that data, and then we are finding the decision, like finding the solution of that problem, and then implementing to the real world. So this is a cycling process, that is planning process, which GIS helps us. So on practical, on GIS software, like how to start map and so on, like how to set coordinates, how to form the layers, and what is a vector data, raster data. There are so many things which we will study. So for today it's enough. So to be continued, wait for my next video. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you haven't subscribed my channel till now, please subscribe to my channel. Show your support, like, comment. If you have any kind of question, you can comment below. I will try to reply as soon as possible, and share my video to your friends. Thank you so much for watching my video.